He's like, he's about to come. I'm like, don't.
He did not believe me until he saw the head.
I saw my man's head.
Are you excited about your baby brother being born? Doula is about to cut the cord.
Christy has had her baby at home. Yep, and we are in the van on the way to the hospital. Say hi, little man. There's Brandon, Hannah, Bella. Christy, you just had your baby at home in less than 4 hours from the onset of contractions to the time he was bursting out where you couldn't make it to the hospital. How do you feel? I feel like I'm in disbelief. I think this is very funny because I told Brandon that I wanted him to Google how to deliver a baby in case this happened. Although I had no clue it would actually happen. I'm just grateful.
Wow.
Hi, baby.
No.
I love you, Isabella.
Get over here.
This is your big sister, Isabella.
Oh, yes.
Are you excited, Isabella?
Yes.
You were waiting to meet him, weren't you? You said, wow.
Baby's in perfect health. Christy's in perfect health. God is good.
He's 9 pounds, 5 ounces.
Big boy. Almost as big as his daddy was. What's up, everybody?
So,
We got a story for you.
boy, do we have a story. This birth story was supernatural, but it was not what we expected. This baby came at home and my husband delivered him this morning.
So, before we get into it, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and let's kind of take you back. What happened?
About 1:40 this morning, my water broke.
In the bed, which is normal. That happened with Bella.
It did happen with
About the same
Isabella.
time.
My labor with her was about 21 hours.
Yes.
I started feeling like I was having menstrual cramps, and then I started feeling real contractions, but I stayed in the bed trying to thug it out. I caught myself trying to go back to sleep. Brandon kept being like, go back to sleep. I'm like, I can't really sleep, but I'll try. I maybe dozed off once. I stayed in the bed until 4:30. Then I was like, I would be more comfortable if I'm not laying in this bed. So I wanted to get on my birth ball, labor in the bathroom, turn on my worship music so that I was feeling better. Brandon brought me some snacks. So I'm in there eating my Greek yogurt and just worshiping the Lord.
And we're like, well, we need to take a shower so we ain't stank today.
Yeah,
we
I
don't know how bad it's going to be.
So we both took a shower.
Or how long it's going to be. We don't know.
And the contractions were very frequent at this point, but we're thinking they're not long enough. So I was like, I'm not going to start timing them until they get longer.
Right.
So he's doing counter pressure every 2 minutes while we're taking this shower together.
Yep.
And then it took me forever to put on all my lotion and oils because I had to stop every 2 minutes for these contractions.
But we weren't timing them yet.
I had texted my doula, Kirsty,
Also the twin.
also my identical twin. I had texted her when my water broke, and she told me about continuing to rest as long as I can in the bed, and then after that, what I need to do. So I'm following her instructions. And she said, when your contractions are 5 to 6 minutes apart, then call me.
For an hour.
Yeah, for an hour.
Yeah, 5 to 6 minutes apart for 1 minute each.
Yeah.
So we were like,
So
okay, we're not there yet.
They were 2 minutes apart, but we didn't think they were long enough, so I was not timing them.
Yeah.
After we took the shower, finally got all my lotion done, got clothes on halfway, and I'm sitting on my birth ball. Then I'm like, I think we need to start timing these. Brandon was like, yeah, they're definitely getting longer. I started timing these things. That app immediately said, go to the hospital.
About 3 of them. They're like, go to the hospital now.
Go to the hospital. I was like, I think they might be exaggerating. I'm like, I'm just gonna, thug it out, labor here longer, not go until I have to.
Meanwhile, our initial hospital was about 10 minutes away.
When I had Isabella, it was 10 minutes away.
And the hospital we were going to go to was 10 minutes away. They shut down.
Right. So our new hospital, which I was planning to do a water birth at this facility
With midwives.
was going to be 40 minutes away. And that's with no traffic. Now it's a Sunday morning, so thank God no traffic.
There's really no traffic.
But the app told me a second time, go to the hospital. So I called my doula. No, I had texted her. I told him to text her a screenshot of what the app was saying, how long the
Contractions were
yeah,
spaced apart.
So she she called and she's like, did this say your contractions are 2 minutes apart? I was like, yeah. She's like, go to the hospital now.
So that's a problem for me because, well, our 2-year-old is sleeping in her bed. My wife is not dressed and she's having contractions every 2 minutes and asking me to give counter pressure
every 2 minutes. I was telling him I forgot to call the midwife. So he's trying to call the midwife, call his mom to pick up our toddler.
Yes.
He's trying to call my mom to come and assist us.
I'm waking up the toddler and I'm giving the counter pressure every 2 minutes.
And he's on the phone with our doula and she's giving instructions on what we need to do.
Yes.
So it was a lot, to say the least, at one time. He's constantly being pulled.
And I'm like, Christy, get up. Get up right now. Let's put some pants on. It's like, I can't. I'm like, we got to go.
Let me pause and say, this one was fantastic. If you haven't seen our first birth story, make sure you check that out. Our water birth. He was just such an amazing coach. This time, he was just so amazing, giving me counter pressure and being so encouraging and just tender and really made me feel confident. So he was just amazing.
Thank you. I didn't really do anything. I didn't birth the child.
The best birth partner ever.
I didn't birth him.
So he's telling me, all right, you got to hurry up and get your clothes on. I'm like, I don't think I'm going to be able to get in the car.
I'm like, you got to get in the car. We got to go.
I'm like, I do not think that's going to happen. The intensity of my contractions in the car for 40 minutes.
Now, pause. I've already woken up the 2-year-old. So she sees a commotion. I'm like, okay, she's going to have to go in her pajamas and we just got to roll. But Christy's still not dressed. I'm like, we got to go. But I'm doing counter pressures between contractions every 2 minutes. And it was just a challenge. An hour passes and I have not been able to get Christy any further to get into the car. And I'm like, I need you to go. She's like, this baby feels like he's gonna come today. He's coming. I said, no,
not today. Like
now. I was like, he's not coming now. He can't come here. We're not doing the home birth. Call Kirsty. That's what she said.
Yeah. I was like, call Kirsty. Tell her that I feel the need to push at this point.
I was like, don't push.
It was almost 6 a.m. I had only been out of the bed for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm already feeling the need to push this baby out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I felt this feeling before. There's no way I'm making it in the car into a hospital that is 40 minutes away. So I was like, set the bathtub. I'm about to get in this bathtub because this baby is coming.
So I set the bath. She's like, he's about to come. I'm like, don't let him come. The bath isn't even full. I mean, it's like a fifth of the way full.
Don't push. Don't push.
Meanwhile, Bella is sitting there crying. I'm like, Bella, go to your room. And I'm having to apply counter pressure. And I'm calling your mom, like, hey, can you come over here? Don't go to the hospital. We're not going to make it. I need you to come here. So she's like, I'm coming to your house. I call our doula, Kirsty, and she's like, you want me to come now? I'm like, yeah, I need you to come ASAP. She gets in the tub. It's nowhere near full. She's adjusting the water, temperature, and height herself in between contractions. She handled it so well, doing the best that she could do. But then she's like, this baby is coming. She gets on all fours, and I'm like, what's that? Then I see some blood. I'm like, everything good?
Yo, this man did not believe me that this baby was coming. He did not believe me until he saw the head.
I saw my man's head. I saw my son's head, and I was like, Kirsty's on speakerphone at this point. Bathtub is still filling, and Bella's crying. I'm like, Kirsty, I see his head. He's coming out. She's like, okay, well, we need to call the ambulance. Like, I don't even have time to call the ambulance. So she calls my mother-in-law, who calls the ambulance while she's on her way. Which, of course, that's an interesting thing, too. They never did make it. That's a whole nother discussion.
She ended up telling them, never mind.
She did, but...
She was like, well, we could just drive to the hospital at this point.
Well,
by the time she got
so, yeah. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. I'm like, all right, well, I got to catch this baby. I'm sitting there like, God, give me strength. Give me the wisdom on what to do here. Kirsty is giving us, some instructions. She did a great job, wonderful job. And she did her best to get to us as fast as possible. I'm telling you, she only lives like 20-something minutes away. She didn't make it. This baby was out. I mean, I was looking at him come. I'm like, okay, I see his head. I felt his head, then I saw his head. And then I'm like, okay, he's coming out.
We were treating Kirsty like she was our doctor over the phone.
Yeah. I'm like, he's got the cord wrapped around his neck twice. And she's like, you're just gonna have to unwrap it. Which luckily, I happened to see this video a few months earlier, several times. She sent us. We laughed at it. We thought it was funny because someone was giving birth on Instagram and shared that.
And the dad caught the baby.
Dad caught the baby and unwrapped the umbilical cord.
Really calm. And I was like, Brandon, you could do that. Like, I could see you delivering our baby and being really calm and chill like he was. We were like, he handled that like a champ.
He did it like it was nothing.
And that was preparing him because that's
little did we know
what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Except I had a crying baby looking at me, a wife in agony. I had water running in the tub, and I had my doula on the speakerphone.
We never could hear the midwife on the phone. Basically, the doula was our doctor because by the time they answered the phone, which the first time it hung up when they were trying to transfer, then the second time it was like muffled, like cannot hear a thing she's saying.
Bad.
So we really never actually talked to our doctor, only our doula, who basically coached us like our doctor.
And she just was like, look, you're just gonna have to catch him, and I'm trying to get there as fast as I can. She's like, I'm 4 minutes away. I'm like, that's too far. I had to calmly tell my daughter, I'm like, Bella, go back to your room. She's sitting there crying. It's just chaotic. And so
show them what she was looking like. You said every time she was passing by the door.
So it's like, go to your room. So she goes, and then it'd be like this. And I'm like, go to your room. I don't want you seeing this, girl.
I'm like, Isabella, mommy's okay. Everything's okay.
I keep telling my mommy's okay, daddy's okay, the baby's okay. All right, okay, the baby's coming out. Then the baby slips like halfway out. I'm like, he's halfway out now. The bathtub was like almost full, still not full. Christy's like, he's coming out. He starts coming halfway out. He is blue like the girl off of Willy Wonka when she ate the blueberry candy and turned into a blueberry, or like a Smurf. He was blue and not moving, and this cord is around his neck. I'm like, ooh. But then he started crawling back up inside my wife. She thought I was putting pressure on her. Don't push him back in there. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
I was like, whatever you're doing, stop doing it. Stop putting pressure up there. He's like, it's not me. The baby is moving around, sitting here elbowing me and stuff.
Yes.
As he's coming out.
He was crawling back in, but then he was blue halfway out and he wasn't moving. He didn't look like he was breathing. I'm like, okay, what do I do? I yank him out? And I could finally hear Kirsty. She's like, no, don't yank him out. Let him come out on his own. So he came out. I unwrapped the umbilical cord and he started breathing. He started crying. So we knew he was fine. Trying to clean him off. Bella's still making a scene. Very emotional. Just in her room, just because she hears mommy, and then she hears the baby crying, and she thinks everything is going bad.
She's like, baby's crying, baby's crying.
And I'm like, listen, mommy's okay, daddy's okay, the baby's okay, your brother's okay, babies cry. That's a good thing. So then she stops crying. And I'm trying to find something to clean off the fluid off of his nose and his mouth. I can't find the stuff.
He found it, but then the little
stuff popping off.
The little piece came off. He's like, where's the piece?
I'm like, come on,
I'm
man.
like, it's right here on the floor.
Anyway, it was chaotic. So my mother-in-law gets there. I let her in. She's on the phone with the paramedics. And she's like, you know what? You don't have to come. And my sister-in-law, my twin-in-law comes through. And she's like, yeah, I think you're okay. Christy delivers the afterbirth. And then we rolled our way to the hospital with that baby already born.
I was nursing him on the way.
Quite chaotic, but it was a blessing. God was with us all. And I just was so grateful.
He was. I feel so overwhelmed with joy and gratitude. Like, I cannot tell y'all, like, I cannot believe that it happened so fast. I mean, I was only out of the bed for an hour and a half before I was holding my baby in my arms, basically.
Yeah.
Everything I prayed for, God did.
Yeah.
And then he gave us the extra interesting story on top, because my husband got to deliver the baby. So how memorable is that?
At home.
He delivered his firstborn son at home. And I originally wanted a home birth. And, well, we got it.
And I originally wanted a free birth. But, you know, we got what we wanted, I guess.
And the thing is that if we had paid for a home birth or paid for like the birth center like we did before, we would have literally been so mad because we would have not made it regardless. The midwife would not have had time to make it to us because we didn't communicate in time.
Nope.
I'm sitting here thinking it's earlier in the process than it is.
Yep.
And I'm a second-time mom now, but as a first-time mom, I felt like it was intense, but I wasn't even dilated that much.
Yep.
So this time around, I'm sitting here like, well, we probably have another 7 hours of labor to go. And so I'm just trying to thug it out. And
Little did
breathe
she
at
know,
home.
little did I know, because I said that to her. I'm like, you got about 7 more hours. Little did I know that boy was coming in the next hour.
What a blessing. And I also had wanted Isabella to be able to be there right after, at least, you know, to meet her little brother. She was able to be there for the whole thing.
I didn't want none of those things. I didn't want nothing like that.
And then she was just so pleasant. Like after we got here, it's just so special. He's chunky as I thought he would be, but God also answered my prayer that I did not tear.
Thank
And
God.
I am so grateful. No medication, no stitches, and I had the baby at home without a medical professional.
Yeah, like a thug.
And no tearing. I am so grateful to God.
And she's gangster as they come.
I had prayed for a supernatural childbirth experience, meaning for me, the presence of God and the absence of fear, but the presence of his peace. And I never felt afraid the entire time. Even when Brandon said the cord was wrapped around his neck and he was blue, I just knew he was okay. And even when the contractions were so intense that I was like, there's no way I'm making it to a hospital, I was never afraid. I'm just so grateful. I cannot believe that I had my firstborn son, my second child, at home this morning, that my husband delivered 9 pounds, 5 ounces, no tearing. Thank God. I'm amazed. I'm blown away right now. It really is just by the grace of God. Some people hearing our story feel like, oh, you guys are so strong, you're so this, you're so that. But like, honestly, before his birth, I felt less mentally prepared than I did before Isabella's birth, because I was constantly reading and watching YouTube videos. I felt like I had all my ducks in a row and I had a lot more time with her being a pandemic baby. And I was able to focus on kind of that alone. It was like labor prep. So it's like, I'm a soldier getting prepared for this. And this time around, I was telling him like, man, I don't feel like I have done the same level of preparation mentally. This time, I'm really just going to be relying on the grace of God. I just felt like God was telling me it's okay. It's not all about you. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to always be fully prepared, but just keep your eyes on me. During labor, even though like the contractions were intense so early, in my mind, it's early. So I'm thinking I have a long time to go. And I would just like literally worshiping God every single contraction. Before I even got out of the bed, just like thanking God for each contraction, bringing me closer to meeting him and just focusing on who God is and just worshiping God. All the affirmations I had written out on my note cards, they were in the car.
Yeah, all the preparation was more. We had a massage gun this time. We had scheduled for Bella to be elsewhere. Every bit of our preparation was thrown out the window.
Literally, like I was holding on to just worship, and then the scripture I've been meditating on, I just kept coming back to that same verse. It was just amazing how God just did the rest. It's like, focus on me. My grace is sufficient and I've got it. I'll do the rest. And God did it. We could not have prepared for an experience like that. We could never have known to prepare for an experience like that, despite all the jokes that I had leading up to that. We did not prepare for that, but God's grace was sufficient.
And we were blessed. We're grateful.
And we have a funny story to remember forever.
Oh, you'll never forget that one.
Never forget it.
Never forget it. And hopefully never duplicate it.
I was telling them, well, we may as well do this every time. We can save money on these home birth midwives. And,
Crazy.
and if they come as fast as he did, we wouldn't make it anywhere anyway.
Yeah, that's a concern. That was not in my plan, and it's certainly not in my future plans. Yeah, guys, that's our birth story. It worked out. Thank God. God was with us. You want to see my man?
Say hi, Brandon the second.
He's a little blue. You know, he came out so fast it bruised him. But he's a soldier. That's good.
He's a soldier. That's good.
Yeah, get your scars in, brother. Get your stripes.
Born on the Lord's day.
That's right.
If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, click subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss an upload, and keep following our journey. Love you guys. Thank you for all your prayers and all of your support. We appreciate y'all so much.
All right, guys, hold it down. Peace.
Till next time.